Top of the morning, the afternoon, and the evening, the night, the late night to you. And it's your boy Aunt Mo coming live and direct from the Mind of Man studio. Live and direct. Welcome. You and get these sports, bruh. It's your boy Anthony Moore, Aunt Mo, for those of you who may know for sure. And you gonna get these sports, bruh. You feel me? We are tapping in late, dog. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's late. It's getting late. Finna you know the R&B, you feel me? But man, we are live after a Dallas Cowboys win. They put a pounding on them boys. You feel me? Your Dallas Cowboys defeat your Las Vegas Raiders tonight, 33-16. It could have been way worse, but CD Lamb is doing what CD does. He is dropping passes, wide open passes. It's kind of sick. It is what it is, kinfolk. But we're going to get into it and we're going to talk about it. Welcome to You Gonna Get These Sports, bro, the most biased, unbiased sports show you will ever see. Because what we like, we talk about. You'll know what we like. And what we don't like, we also will talk about. But man, I got a few questions that I want to prefer, put out there for the Cowboy fans tonight. Is Jerry Jones a genius? Is he really a few steps ahead of everybody? Has old age and fear of death, and I'm quite honestly tired of hearing us talk about that he's 84 years old now and he won't be around much longer, and how important it is, because that is no excuse to not execute and do everything you can to bring this team to prominence as quickly and as efficiently as you possibly can. You are the reason that the salary cap was enforced, and you have not found a way post salary cap to be able to put a team out on that field that can be viewed as a championship contender, not just in theory, not just by the paper and the numbers, by what we actually see on the football field. But we have seen some things change tonight. Oh, baby. I don't know if y'all seen when Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams were on the field together with O.C. Digizua, with Donovan Ezaraku, with Clowney coming in. I don't know who that Twa guy was. He didn't look that great to me, to be honest. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But let's get into these comments, man. Let's get into these comments. Y'all, please let me know how y'all feeling about tonight. Let me know what we're looking for, what we should be looking to moving forward. And man, we finna get into it. We're gonna talk about Jerry. We talking about these draft picks, man. What can we expect moving forward? How do we foresee this regular season ending? Can we run the table? That's the question. Can we run the table? Over the weekend, we've seen some of these guys are looking human. It's Rocky fighting Ivan Drago, and Rocky's looking at him and he says he bleeds. And Ivan Drago is saying he's not human. You know what I'm saying? So we've seen a few teams look human. So we're going to get into it. But let's look at these comments and let's see who we got in here. Let's go, my boy. And my boy Omar in the building. Let's go, 31-9. So you've been in here for a minute. Shout out to you, man. That's my partner, my coworker, man, my kinfolk. You know what I'm saying? And then I don't know what that means. That might be a dinosaur. That might say That might mean let me eat with you. I don't know. But Ms. Reese says, hey, Miss Parker. And then Omar Becky said, let me have a piece of what? Pie? Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. Anyway, I was gonna go into the office and how, but if y'all ain't Office fans, it ain't gonna mean much of nothing. But here's my question, guys. Come on in. Please hit the like button. It's free. It don't cost you no money, kinfolk. Love don't cost a thing. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Nick Cannon. This is my question. Is Jerry Jones a genius? We are at the aftermath of your Dallas Cowboys putting a drubbing on the Oakland Raiders. We will get into the legitimacy of the win and all those things a little later in the show. But right now, we celebrating, Kinfolk. We celebrating. The Dallas Cowboys have turned around this recent losing streak. They go into the bye week. They get much needed rest. And speaking to the greatness of what could be the greatness of Jerry Jones, let's just take a look at how the offseason moves that he made, and let's look at the trade deadline moves that he made. And it brings me to the question, is he really a greater GM and a bit of a genius for how he's kind of put this defense together, how he's made these moves overall to make this team more relevant? Now, you can argue in the comments if you believe that the Cowboys actually still have a chance. They are the least of the teams that have a chance still remaining. But with you playing the Eagles, with you playing the Lions, there's still some things that we can control. Maybe possibly owning the tiebreaker over your Green Bay Packers. So let's look at some of these draft picks, shall we? That we gave up. So first of all, we got George Pickens for a third rounder. That is an absolute steal from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, they were tired of him. Here's the thing. One man's trash, another man's treasure. You hear me? It is what it is. So we can't fault Pittsburgh. Somebody was arguing to me this morning that they believe that, okay, yeah, the Pittsburgh Steelers always draft good receivers, but they got to get rid of them because something's wrong with them mentally. And I'll tell you what's wrong with the Pittsburgh Steelers is their offense is trash. You had a over the hill Ben Roethlisberger. Couldn't get that name. I was thinking Ben Affleck, Ben Stiller. I was thinking a bunch of Bens. But Ben Roethlisberger was done. Who's the quarterback that you can name that was really worth it based off of how they run their offense? They are they think Franco Harris is going to come running through that tunnel and that they're all of a sudden going to be this great vintage Steelers. That wasn't going to work for George Pickens. Okay? These are different receivers. This is different times, and you have to be able to open up this offense. That's why AJ Brown is giving the Philadelphia Eagles the blues, and they are the number 1 seed right now in the NFC because you have to open up these offenses. He made a good point before we get back to these draft picks. It's like you're using me only when it's dire straits, when the run game isn't working, when the defense is getting picked on, which that defense is looking great right now. But those are the type of things that if we just run our offense in a way that gets everybody involved and is more efficient, we don't have to worry about. Now it's like you have to make this 50-yard pass or get this touchdown or we lose the game. So it's a different NFL. It's offensive, it's receiver heavy, it's quarterback driven as it's always been. And so Jerry goes and takes a third-round pick, trades that for the best receiver on this football team. I don't care who you think you are. I don't care who you're arguing with. I'm telling you right now, George Pickens is the best receiver on this football team. I don't see George Pickens drop balls. That's the first thing. Did you see I was just having a discussion this morning. Connor, what's up, man? I was just having a discussion this morning with a Cowboy fan that said CeeDee Lamb is better down the field. You know, all of this. George Pickens is a crash out. He'll get you a penalty for doing some type of celebration. But that dude, pound for pound, is a better receiver than CeeDee Lamb, and it's not close. I'm sorry, dude. Just watch the film, watch the tape. He's longer, he's rangier. He may not be as explosive as CD, but CeeDee Lamb George Pickens is that guy. So we trade a third-round pick for this year for George Pickens. Great. Just amazing thing that Jerry did right there. Then we go Kenny Clark. We get Kenny Clark and a first-rounder for Michael Parsons right before the season starts. Did you see Kenny Clark out there? Have you ever seen Michael Parsons impact a game in the trenches? Now, I get it. one technique versus a pass rusher. I get it. But what I'm saying is, have you ever seen him shed offensive linemen like that to be impactful all night? Didn't always equal sacks, but it equaled runs stopped in the backfield. That's not something Michael Parsons does. And he was just disruptive all game. Now, we know who Oakland is. We know what their offense looks like. We know what their run game looks like. But when you're ragdolling grown men, I'll take Kenny Clark. I'll build my defense from the inside, and then we'll make a decision later on what's what. So Kenny Clark we get Kenny Clark in the first rounder from the Green Bay Packers in exchange for them getting Micah Parsons. So then at the trade deadline, the first thing that we do is get Logan Wilson from the Cincinnati Bengals for a 7th rounder. 9 times out of 10, that guy's not going to make the team, or he's not going to matter. So Logan Wilson was out there making plays, calling the defense. Period. I get it. You know, the guys who are eventually going to be riding the pine a little bit more, he tips the ball up in the air. We get a pick from it. But let me be clear with you guys. This is This is the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm not mad. Marquise Bell, who shouldn't be on the field because that kid is not that good. He gets picked on a regular basis. He gets a pick. So the two guys who are the most insignificant guys on the defense at times combine to make a play for us to get a tip ball and an interception from linebackers when we typically don't do that. That's an anomaly, although I'm not mad at it. Don't get used to that. You're not going to see those two guys that often making plays unless you're getting very disruptive play from your defensive tackles. Okay. So Logan Wilson for a 7th rounder. Jerry's looking like a bit of a genius right now. Okay. Now, and I see what you're saying here. Hold on. Let me go to the comments because I don't want my people to get too lulled. Okay. So then Connor says, yes, I agree. George Pickens is the best, coming from a Steelers fan, by the way. Yeah, but that George Pickens is nothing compared to this George Pickens. That's all I'm saying. Way more explosive, way more elusive, but still correct. Cowboys are 4-5-1, by the way, y'all. They ain't that good. Well, before we continue with these here notes and stats and facts, let's just look at this, right? Before the season, if you would have said the Cowboys are going to lose to the defending Super Bowl champions, the first game of the season, that's not going to be a shock to anybody, right? If you then said they're going to put 40 on a Packers defense that was considered to at least be a top 10 defense before the season started, and have showed themselves to be such at times. The only reason that they don't look as good as they could look is because look, I'm looking at the comment down there that I want to get to, but I will get there. Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and get to these next comments. I knew George had potential. That's why I'm happy for him. Okay, so M. Bledsoe is not a scam. What do you mean? Is this in reference to Micah Parsons? Because this sounds like a Micah Parsons reference, and I could argue with you that it could be premium gas, but it's going to leave trash in your engine. So what are you referring to? And we have LaCourtney Wheelers says hi. What's going on? Let's go, Cowboys, for sure. Cowboys are looking good. Is breaking out bad. Is it because I left away from the mic? Because I did lean in to kind of read that comment. Is it still breaking? Does it not sound that great? Because otherwise I need to take the noise gate off. But can you so M. Bledsoe still here? Can you tell me what you mean by premium gas is not a scam? Because I hope it's a football thing. If you are just trying to be funny, save it, my brother. The camera's a little fuzzy. Really? I'm looking at my camera. Yes, still breaking. All right, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Oh wait. Now I don't want to take my noise gate. Hopefully this is a little bit better. Now everything slowed down. What is going on? So this must be an internet issue. This has to be an internet issue because everything looks fine on my end. Huh. Camera's all fuzzy. Yeah, still breaking. You look like a PS1. Looks and sounds better. Okay. He said it looks like a PS1 game character right now. Now everything slowed down. Noise is good now. It's better now, kind of. Okay. I don't know what that could be because it was fuzzy about 2 minutes ago. Okay. I apologize for that. I took the noise gate down for whatever the reason on my mic, but anyway, I guess M. Bledsoe was just in here talking, and that's fine. I mean, that's how it goes. But my point is, um, the Cowboys defense, I'm not expecting for Micah Parsons, as good as people may think he is, to have the impact on this defense that Kenny Clark is having. So Kenny Clark. So, but then with that being said, now we have to look at the big trade, which was Quinnen Williams for a second-round pick this year, and then a first-round pick in 2027. And then the Jets would have the choice between whichever pick is better, whether that's the Green Bay Packers pick or our pick. It is what it is. But did you see Quinnen Williams tonight? Did anybody just look and see that 1.5 sack getting Quinnen Williams in his first game back? I mean, yes, his first game, 2 weeks off. He appeared to be injured in some regard. I couldn't tell you where exactly it was coming from, but he definitely was in some pain. We didn't see him as often in the second half. But when you have Quinnen Williams, Osa Odigizua, Kenny Clark, and apparently Ezaraku is way stouter on that edge than what I gave him credit for. Now, I know how this goes. We all know how this goes. The Cowboys will get your hopes up. That's just the reality here, right? They will make you believe something. It's the bait and switch. It's the sleight of hand. They'll make you believe something that may or may not be true. But all I'm saying is that defensive line was getting pressure against the Arizona Cardinals, and that was without Quinnen Williams. That, you get what I'm saying? See, Connor, you coming in here, Nate, hating the night, dog. He said, petition for him to do a cowgirl hate stream. This is often yeah, I don't know, bruh. You really, yeah, it's the internet tripping over here for sure. I've never had this issue. I don't know why this is decided to do it tonight, but hopefully I'm back in. Okay, so we gonna look. I apologize. We gonna get in and we gonna get out. And hopefully this is fixed before the next time that we go live. That's unfortunate, but anyway. Okay, so Quentin Williams for a second round pick this year, for your second round pick this year, and a first round pick in 2027. I would consider that to be a fairly good trade. He's 27 years old. He still has 5 to 6 prime years in him. Defensive tackles of that caliber, he is on his way to being a Hall of Famer. Defensive players of that caliber, they just, man, listen, they don't, sometimes they get a little better, or at least are able to maintain what they do. And then my final one is Jadeveon Clowney as a free agent signing. I'm not gonna lie to you, I had no hope in that signing really meaning much. And I'll be honest, even kind of looking at him at times, he doesn't seem to be as big of a team guy as I would hope. He seems to still kind of be driven. I don't know what he's driven by, and I think that's the problem. I don't really see him celebrate. He just kind of does what he does, and but he's been on a lot of teams in the NFL too, so I think a lot of that plays a part. Maybe when your career hasn't panned out the way you would have hoped, at this point you're just trying to salvage it. Hopefully, set yourself up for a big payday down the line. My question though, okay, if you want to shout out, can you hit the like and subscribe and then give me proof that you did that? And I'll absolutely give you a shout out, my brother. I promise you I will. But anyway, yeah, give me a like and subscribe, and I promise you I give you a shout out. But so yeah, so anyway, this is my question. Is there still hope? Is there still hope for the Cowboys to make the playoffs? Because for you to go 7-1, 8-0, that gives you your best chance. Run the table or make it out with maybe a loss, hope maybe against an AFC opponent, so that you don't weaken your strength of schedule or your percentage in the NFC. So if that's the case, what's needed down the stretch for your Cowboys to have the best chance possible to get into the dance? You feel me? Because here's the thing. You can go to the prom stag. You don't got to take no date, kinfolk. Show up. Show up with a fresh fit. Show up with a nice haircut. Show up one of them corsages. And then let's see what we can lead with, kinfolk. You feel me? You just got to make it to the dance. You still might win. That's all I'm saying. And so 8-0, 7-1 is optimal and maybe unrealistic. Maybe 6-2 is more realistic. Maybe going 9-7-1 is the most optimistic thing that you can look for when it comes to your Dallas Cowboys, right? But how does that look? Because they're entering a stretch now where they have 4 games in the next 12 days. And so you have the Raiders were the first part of this puzzle. If you don't win against the Raiders, none of this stuff matters. But they got the job done. So you have your Raiders. You take care of that game and you do it looking well. I am never going to be mad at a team that can get the W against a team they're supposed to beat and you look like they weren't supposed to be on the field with you. Dak was looking real sketchy early. Straighten that up. We were able to rebound. The offense takes off. You talk about CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens having 210 total combined yards, 2 touchdowns, supposed to be 3 and 215, 213, 215 total yards. But thanks, CD, for, dropping another ball that whatever. Listen, y'all. It gets a little weird when y'all come on here talking about please say my name and all that. This is what I need. If you can hit the like and you could subscribe and give me proof that you did that, I give you a shout out. Otherwise, I appreciate you for hopping in here, but the shout outs ain't free, my brother. Or buy a super chat. Buy a super chat or super sticker or something like that. If you can't do that, then I respectfully, Hey man, it get kind of weird when y'all say my name and all that. It's kind of, what's this, Beyonce? But anyway, so first game for the first of 4 games in 12 days was the Raiders. You did what you're supposed to do. The Eagles looked scary yesterday. Not because the offense looked so amazing. I say this every time, and I'll continue to say it. What makes the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles so dangerous is they're the best at situational football. They find ways to win games in spurts when it matters most. It's 3rd and 5, it's 3rd and 4, 3rd and 6, 4th and 2, and Jalen knows when to take off, when to find the lane or the pocket to actually execute. Patrick Mahomes running for 15 yards when you were never expecting him to do such a thing. That's what matters. That's what's important. Situational football. Knowing what your timeout's looking like, knowing what your strengths and weaknesses are, planning for situations that actually do come up in a game and actually they happen and then you execute. The Eagles and the Chiefs are the best at that in all of the NFL, and that's why they can beat the Rams. That's why they can beat the Bills. That's why they can beat Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. It's not science, y'all. This isn't rocket science. This is 1 + 1 is 2. And when you have, I hate to give the Eagles coach any credit because I really do think he's an idiot. I think he's a toxic idiot, okay? But he fits what they do well. He fits the culture of Philly so well. But he knows how to put them in the best position to win, even if the Eagles are well-rounded from top to bottom. That is a complete defense that lost guys in different spots, and they still find a way to be effective at what they do. Howie Roseman is phenomenal at being a GM. Take my cap off to him. And then when you look at the Chiefs, when you look at Andy Reid, it doesn't matter what coordinator he wins or loses. When he gets those speedy receivers on the field with Patrick Mahomes' mind and arm in accompaniment with Andy Reid, it's a recipe for success, or it has been a recipe for success. Now, what do we know about the NFL? Things change. People catch up to you. They figure you out. It may take a long time with some of the greats, but more often than less likely, the greats are going to figure it out. Patrick Mahomes is going to figure out a way to win. He may have a down year. He might have a down half of a season, but they figure it out. The Philadelphia Eagles may look weak. They may look vulnerable against the Cowboys week 1, but they find a way to win, and that is what we have to be concerned about. Having a guy like Quinnen Williams and Logan Wilson at the beginning of the season, that completely changes how that outcome looks. When you got Quinnen Williams bringing pressure right up the middle, you got a guy like Logan manning the middle of the defense, and you got a guy like Overshawn, who is that dude right there is just a big hoss of a dude, man. He's a unit. But when you got guys like that, it sets you up for success. It sets you up with the ability to win the game. Dak Prescott shook out some of those bad opportunities early and found a way to persevere and put himself in a position to dominate. That's what we need. Now we just need to see him do this against playoff contending teams, period. We need to see you execute when it matters. So this Eagles game is going to tell the tale. If we find a way to win this game, I don't care about hook or crook, the rest of the schedule is looking good. And I'll tell you why. Because now, mind you, of all these games, Patrick Mahomes does not scare me. Because the next 4 games go it was Raiders, Eagles, Chiefs, Lions. Excuse me. So let's just stay there before we look at the rest of these games. Eagles scare me for obvious reasons. Jordan Davis in the middle of that defense looking like Quinnen Williams, problem. If you can keep pressure in the quarterback's face, you will always have a chance to win, period. The Chiefs, they got Chris Jones, who does the same type of thing. So it presents the same type of issue. And you're looking at the quarterbacks who have represented the Super Bowl the last 3 years, 2 out of 3 years. So you're going to have to play at an elite level to keep us in that game or to give us an opportunity to win Dak Prescott. You come out with a victory in these next 2 games, you're right back in the MVP discussion. Right back in it. The game that terrifies me is Dallas Cowboys at Detroit Lions in Detroit. That's the one that I'm really chalking up as a loss. If I'm being honest, I hate to be this way because you suit up, you put your shoelaces in your shoestrings, you put your pants on one leg at a time. We all men, we zip up our zipper, kinfolk, in the front. That's a whole nother story. But I'm just saying, I don't know how I listen. If the Cowboys can find a way to go 4-0 in their next 4 games, first of all, the media can't handle it. Stephen A is gonna crap a brick. And then the next 4 games are Minnesota comes here, Chargers come here, Washington, we go to Washington, the Mariota-led Washington Commanders, who we already trounced, and then we go to the Giants, who Jackson Dart will be there. That's a scarier game than what people can realize, especially when Russell Wilson already took you to the brink. By the way, why didn't Russell Wilson actually play in the last game? Why? I never even thought about that. Why was Jameis Winston starting in that game? What happened to Russell Wilson? But that's neither here nor there. So if you come out somehow 4-0 in these next 4 games, now, mind you, I'm not saying that we have a Philadelphia Eagles type defense. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying the Eagles showed that if you can get the right kind of pressure on that quarterback, you can wreck their game plan. Now, Jahmyr Gibbs and Jameson Williams, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, listen, it's still scary hours for those guys. You know what I'm saying? Laporta, it's scary hours. They're loaded on offense. And then we all got to get to Hutchins on defense and all. Listen, it's just a scary game. You are going to have to find a way to get your offense going because that's going to give you your best opportunity. This isn't the Ben Johnson-led Detroit Lions, but they're still very, 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 very good. Dan Carpenter's offensive game plan is still enough to beat that Dallas Cowboy defense. So that's all I'm saying. My question now is it false hope? Does a game like this give Cowboy fans what it's always gave them? A false sense of hope and security that success is but a formality moving forward after they do what they're supposed to do to a bottom of the barrel type team. The reality check, people, is that the Las Vegas Raiders are 31st ranked offense in all of the NFL. Their offensive line is atrocious. Their best lineman on IR. Geno Smith leads the league in interceptions. Genty, 1-2 yards a carry. Brock Bowers, if it wasn't for Brock Bowers, they wouldn't have an offense. So although I am incredibly hopeful, although I appreciate tremendously what I saw because I want to see this offense going. There's no reason with Jake Ferguson, with Javonte Williams, with Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, that this offense shouldn't be humming, period. Lipke at fullback, Flournoy, like this offense is loaded. So averaging 30 points a game for this offense should not be anything that people sniffle at. Should have been 40, but CD drops a pass. It is what it is. What can I say? But is it false hope that we have that the Cowboys have any real shot to make a run at the playoffs, make the playoffs, and actually make some noise in the playoffs? I would say yes. No, it's not false hope. Yes, there's a real shot. And I'll tell you why. Because now at 4-5-1, although they are simply trying to get in the hunt for the playoffs, there's a very weak NFC this year where everybody bleeds. Everybody. Did you see the Philadelphia Eagles get stuffed on the tush push twice yesterday? If it was more, please let me know. But I saw them get stuffed twice on a play that was nearly impossible to stop. With a Quinnen Williams, with a Kenny Clark, with that tall guy, that humongous other guy that I don't know where he came from, with a Jadeveon Clowney, with the Osa Odigizua, I could see this team learning how to play better situational football and put together a few wins. Let's not forget, the Cowboys struggle the most when you have real expectations for them. They struggle the most when it's just a formality that they should get a win. When the expectation is for them to play up to the level of a top 10 offense or defense, that's when they disappoint us the most. Right now, house money. People saying the Cowboys, they're not good anyway. You beat the Raiders. You're supposed to beat the Raiders. Yeah. You played the Eagles tough opening day at the Eagles. What can I say? Y'all were trying to rally around. You lost your best defensive player. But there's no way you beat the Eagles now. Now they're full steam. Sirianni's he's cooking. There's no way you beat him. This is a game where the Cowboys come out and smoke the Eagles.
I didn't get that.
Siri, go away. Okay. Yeah, this is a game where the Cowboys go out and drub the Eagles because that's what we're used to them doing. I'm for it. I believe it's going to happen. I think we split with them and sweep everybody else. But would you be surprised if they beat the Eagles this upcoming Sunday? I'm sure it's a Sunday night game. It's got to be on a stage for everybody to see. Those are the things that make me nervous, though. So I am one that believes that this team actually does have a legit chance. Is that just your typical blind fandom from a Dallas Cowboy fan? I would say if you said yes, I wouldn't be mad at you. Jerry Jones is the ultimate salesman. He's Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey. Get your popcorn, the greatest show on earth. This is what he does. He makes these trades where most people would say, pack it up, go find a reason to lose, get a top 5 pick, start building this defense, start building the offensive line again, go get a safety early. Jerry says, I'm trading for Logan. I'm trading for Quinnen. Overshown's coming back. Siobhan Ravel looking pretty solid tonight, if I do say so myself. Carson looking good at the other corner. Bland playing the slot. Almost gets a pick twice. if this defense can be serviceable, if they can be middle of the road, we just need you to be middle of the road. We don't need you to be a top 10 defense. I'm just saying, y'all. It's so you're telling me there's a chance. Yes, Dumb and Dumber. I say all of that to say, Cowboys, you done did good. You done did real good, kid. It's because I'm black, see? Yeah. You did what you were supposed to do. You didn't wet the bed like you did against the Cardinals, who we historically don't play well. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. You did what you were supposed to do. We need you to do what you're supposed to do. And now we need you to look like a serviceable NFL team all around now, not just on defense. So your Oakland Raiders, I'm just going to call them that because I'm tired of trying to figure out if to remember to say Las Vegas. But your Oakland Raiders, they're 2-7. They're not a good team. They're not good on offense. They're actually not half bad on defense, but you got to win. And a win is a win is a win in the NFL. We don't style point wins. The degree of difficulty is too hard in the NFL. You don't style point wins. So there's a world where I could see you losing to the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Lions, Minnesota, with JJ McCarthy back at quarterback, the Chargers, who we always play well. There's a world where this could get ugly. And that's where the realism, we got to really look at the all 22, grade what these players really did, and start seeing what's the upside here. Does more overshown on the field help you? Does more Logan on the field help you? Does more, obviously more Quinnen and Kenny Clark help you? Does more Siobhan Ravel getting his groove back as a corner who's never played in the NFL? 14 months ago, you tore your ACL coming out of Eastern Carolina. How does he look in accompaniment with Carson, Bland in the slot? These are the games where our safeties typically look good. Hooker is running all around the field, almost gets a pick. Geno Smith isn't good, though, guys. That's all I'm saying. Geno Smith is not a good quarterback. Well, let me be fair here. I'm sorry I disrespect you like that, Geno. I apologize, my boy. Hey, from my cortisone to your cortisone, I apologize. What I'm saying is he hasn't had the opportunity to look like a good quarterback because they don't have an offensive line. Of all the things that they did and going to get a running back, what good is a running back if you can't protect them in the NFL? Barry Sanders turned water into wine because he was just that gifted and athletic. It doesn't happen like that typically in the NFL, though. That's all I'm saying. The only person that was probably capable of doing it like that also was like a Ricky Williams. But he was also playing from check to check. He had to get 100 yards a game, a touchdown a game to actually get a game check from Master P. But that's a whole other story. Anyway, tell me in the comments what your expectations are for the Dallas Cowboys. What are you expecting? Does this give you real hope? Or is this just Jerry selling us a bag of bones like he always does? Should we have went ahead and just said, forget the trades, let's tank? Or did it make sense? Because it could be a world where I could see Jerry just wanting to make sure that the Cowboys are always and forever relevant, no matter what's going on. So with that being said, let me know what you think in the comments. I am your host, your homeboy, your player, your partner, your cousin, your kinfolk, Anthony Moore, Ant Mo, for those of you who may not know for sure. You've been watching. You're gonna get these sports, bruh. We'll be back with another episode next week unless something new pops off that is definitely worth it. I was gonna talk about Shador, but I decided to let that go. But yes, congratulations to my Dallas Cowboys, man. I appreciate you guys for actually doing something that could help an old man go to sleep with some peace on his heart tonight. Man, listen, as I end every show, life is hard enough, so please don't just live elevated. Until next week, I love you. May the Lord keep you. I'll see you at the conference, kinfolk. Till next time. You be easy white now. Peace.